you know, it's easy for us. We can talk about horses forever. You know, we can talk for hours and hours and hours about horses. You know, well, I have knowledge on horses, but she loves them. You know, for being there, being with them, and she loves beef or salmon from the Living Legends. Like, she misses Beefy when she's not at the store. She gets upset when she's not with them, and you know, she gets upset when she's not with them. She found it very difficult to say goodbye to them on the 12th of on the March 12th, the last day, the stud, you know, the closing of the stud, you know, they were closing on the 12th of March due to the coronavirus, and she found it very difficult to say goodbye to beef or salmon. It was very, very sad. She was late leaving. Apparently they were waiting for her, you see, and we were leaving. We left about 5:45, 5:50 on the last day, and I notified the girl at the desk. I think it was Mary, or not Mary. I don't think it was only because Mary was one of the staff. I think it was Mary was on. I think it was Mary, one of the staff. I notified them that Anna was down at the Living Legends, which passes on to member staff. She was down at the Living Legends, say goodbye to the Living Legends. And we had left about 10 to 6. It's probably the latest we ever left the stud. We never left the stud that late. And she was down there to say goodbye to beef or salmon. And so I was concerned because I didn't want to get locked in the stud, you see, because it closed at 6 o'clock. He always closed at 6 o'clock for the visitors. So I was concerned that she's going to get locked in. So we were talking to her that evening, and she said that they were looking for her. So she said that the security had to go down and search for her because she was running late. They were running late, and she said that she was that close. She was very close to getting locked in. She was very near to getting locked in. The security had to go down and collect her and bring her up to the car park. They had to drive her up to the car park because she's running late, because it's coming near 6 o'clock. They had to go and search her and bring her up to the car park. They had to drive her up to the car park because it was coming near 6 o'clock. She's very, very close to getting locked in. She said, she's at the Living Legends and say goodbye to them. And so that's a good thing I told the receptionist. If I hadn't said anything to the receptionist, she would have been locked in. So, but I would say that would bother Donna. I'd say she would have loved to stay there all night. She probably would have loved to stay there and be with Beefy and spend time with Beefy. You know, she would have loved to be there with Beefy, I suppose, because she loved Beefy. And she wouldn't have cared. She would have loved to spend the time with them, and spend the night. You could spend the night with them, and sleep with them. You know, she wouldn't care less if she was stuck there, beef or salmon. She would probably sleep tonight with them if she had her way, but she wouldn't have been able to because she wouldn't be allowed. But if I bet you, if she had her way, she would. I tell you, I thought if I had my way, I'd stay there too, but I wouldn't be allowed. But if I had my way, if I had my choice, I'd stay there too, but I wouldn't be allowed. But if I had my way, I'd stay there. But I would sleep with the horses. I'd actually sleep with the horses if I had my way. But unfortunately, you can't do that. But if I had my way, I would. But anyway, but they had to go down and search her. So they kindly drove her up to the car park and brought her to her car. And so, yeah, it was a good thing that I told staff for what she'd been there for. And she would have been in there for maybe the whole duration of the, God knows how long. But anyway, because we were talking to her that night and she told us. But, yeah, so she wants to spend time with Beef and say her goodbyes to Beef or Sam, because she's very, very fond. And that, God, she has me started calling Beef, you know. And that's really... I'm not as big as into Big as she is. My favourite of the chestnut is Rite of Passage. So I get a bit emotional now because tomorrow is it's Hurricane's birthday tomorrow, and I can't be there for his birthday. That's why I get a bit emotional now. Talking about the Living Legends, so it's hard to hit me now. It's trying to hit me now. It's talking about the living legends. I just remember it's Hurricane and Hardy's birthday tomorrow. Hurricane's will be 16. Hardy will be 23 tomorrow. Just remember, you know, this to talk about the living legends. It just reminded me that it's Hardy and Hurricane's birthday tomorrow, and I won't be there for their birthday. I won't be there to celebrate their birthday. And today is the birthday of Favonian. Favonian's birthday is today. I'll be doing a personal video to Favonian today. She's 7 today. Happy birthday, Favonian, by the way. I wish I was there to celebrate the big day with you. I wish I was there with you, girl, but man, in normal circumstances, in normal circumstances, we would be there at the stud. We would be at the stud today. If this virus wasn't happening, we'd be at the stud today. If there was no virus, Liam and I would be getting ready for the stud. I'm up now, but Liam would be getting up around 11 o'clock. We'd be leaving the stud for about 10 to 12. We'd be leaving here about 10 to 12 to be heading out to the stud. And we'd be there, and I'd be bringing a big bag of carrots and everything else, the horses, and I'd be bringing a big bag for big bag for carrots for Favonian for her birthday. She's 7 today. Yeah, it's her birthday today. So in normal circumstances, if there was no virus, I'd be there at the stud today. Yeah, I would be at the stud today. Now, if there was no virus, if there was no coronavirus, I'd be at the stud today, giving her carrots for her birthday. Yeah, and tomorrow I would be there again for Hurricane and Hardy's birthday. Yeah, because I'm always there for their birthdays. I'm always there for the horses' birthdays. You know, I'll be there for Principal's birthday. I'll be there for Lucy Pimpinell's birthday, or I'll be there for Decoration Light's birthday. You know, I'm always there for Gay Force's birthday, and I'll be there for Gay Force's birthday this year, even though he wasn't there. I was there for his birthday. I was there as a mark of his birthday. I was there for Wartad's birthday as a mark of his birthday. I was reading the cards, the horses as a mark to celebrate his birthday. I'm always there for the horse's birthday. I was there for Dragon's birthday. I was there for Free Eagle's birthday. You know, so I'm always there for the horses' birthdays. You know, I'm always there for the horses' birthdays. You know, regardless. And I'm always there for the morning. I'm always there in the morning of Invincible's, because Invincible's it's very special to me. He means everything to me. That horse, he's my inspiration. That horse, he's my true inspiration. You know, I love that horse. You know, he's my life. That horse, I really miss him. Sorry, I'm not coping very well about the horses. You can take the cup down. I don't know how Liam can cope with this carrying on. I don't know how he's going to cope, because I certainly can't cope at all. I can't cope at all. I don't know how he can cope with this going on. He seems to be coping a lot better than me, but I can't cope at all. I'm just not coping, and I can't handle this. I can't handle this at all. This is my 3rd week at home now. I've been at the door. I've been at that door since we left the stud. Since the stud closed. I haven't been at that door. I've been at that door since the Irish stud closed. I've been at that door. Not once. And he rang up my post office yesterday because he's getting panicky about my money. Thankfully I don't have to worry about my money, because they're holding my money for 3 months because of the coronavirus. So I don't need to worry about my money. So by the time all this is over, I'll be rich. So they're holding my money for 3 months. because of the coronavirus. So I don't need to worry about my money, because they hold my money for 3 months because of the coronavirus, which is very nice of them. Because normally, in normal circumstances, they only hold you money for 4 weeks. For 4 weeks is the normal. In normal circumstances, it's only 4 weeks. But for the coronavirus, they're holding my money for 3 months, with like 90 days. So I'm very lucky. So by the time all this is over, I'll be rich. So it's very kind of them. It's a good thing you're right, because he was getting panic over nothing, as per usual. And I had a feeling that they were going to hold it. I had kind of a strong feeling they were going to hold it a little longer because of this coronavirus. It's kind of. I had a kind of feeling that they were going to hold it a little longer because of what's going on. You know, I didn't think that they were going to leave me destitute or leave me short or anything like that. I didn't think they were going to do that. You know, because of what's going on, because the restrictions of being not allowed to leave your homes and all that kind of that, you know, because of the rule that they're not allowed to leave your home. I had a feeling that they wouldn't let me destitute or leave me short of money. So he's kind of worried over nothing, getting panicky over nothing. So it's a good thing he did ring, but I had a feeling that they wouldn't leave me out of my money, leave me short of my money. So, and then it wouldn't let me worry about rushing to get my money either. So back in my I hope you're all keeping well. I know this may be very tough for you as well. It might be all easy for you to cope with this. I'm not too sure how you're coping with this, because I got this bit of paper on the floor. I'm not too sure how you're coping with all this going on, because I'm certainly not coping very well at all now. Some people cope better than others. I don't know how my fiance is coping, because I don't know how my fiance can cope. I don't know how my fiance can cope with this, because I certainly can't cope with this going on at all. I'm not coping at all. I'm not coping very well at all now. And as you can probably gather, see me cry quite a lot in videos. More talk about the horses, the more upset I get. I really miss the horses so much. You know, I have no idea. I miss all my friends. You know. A lot of my friends have had foals recently, you know, Summer Spice and, you know, and I miss my friend Baldara and With One Accord and we're looking forward to seeing Summer Spice's foal. We just had a foal there a while ago. She had a foal on St. Paddy's Day, you know, with the Lucille Pimpernel. Looking forward to seeing her new foal. They've had over 250 foals born so far this year, you know, and that in March. They're only into March at this stage, and so doing very well this year. So it's a lot more folds around that time than last year. So they kind of beat the record. I think they're beating the record with the amount of folds. They're around March last year. I don't think they had that many folds. They only had about 250 folds altogether last year. So they're kind of beating. I think the numbers is rising. I think it's rising. I think it's going to be. It's rising this year. I think it's gone higher this year because only altogether last year, as far as I remember, they only had 250 folds. By the end of by October, we were told by October. I do remember by October last year they told us they had only 250 folds born. I remember because I remember announcing it to the viewers. I mentioned as I was talking to Hurricane Fly at the Living Legends by October. I think it was about the 3rd of October or something around October. It's coming near the end of the season, coming towards the end of the season around October because they finished last year on the I think it was the 4th or the 3rd. Last year finished on the 3rd. The 3rd of November last year. And it's finished on the 1st this year. They finished on the finished on the 1st last year. They finished on the 1st last year. The very first day last year. I get confused with the years, but I go so fast. They finished on the 1st last year. Yeah, and so what am I saying? No, finished on the 3rd last year. Finished on the 1st this year. Yeah, finished on the 3rd last year. Finished on the very first day this year. Beg your pardon. Finished on the 3rd last year. Finished on the very first day this year. So I finished on the 3rd last year, and they got the year finishing earlier each year, possibly. Yeah, and it's around October, and we were told, as far as I remember, I do remember saying to the viewers, they had 250 folds born this year. I do remember saying those exact words. This is around October. I do remember saying that. I actually remember saying to Celine, they had 250 folds born this year. So the numbers are obviously rising. They're obviously rising this year. They're obviously rising this year. They're obviously going a lot higher this year. So the tours are also rising. They also rose last year. The numbers of tours rose last year than the previous year too, as well. So I can't remember, but they rose last year to the previous year. I can't remember what the numbers are. They would tell you the numbers. I can't remember. So I think it's over 11,000 tours altogether, something around that number. It rose from the previous year. It rose from 2018 up. The numbers rose from 2018 up. A little higher last year than the previous year, 2018. So the numbers are rising with the tours, and as well. So numbers rose last year with the tours in the previous year, 2018, and the numbers of foals being born are going to be risen this year than last year. So they do very well. So far they've over 250 foals born. Around 250 foals born around October last year. So it's going to be a lot higher this year. So it's getting higher each year with the numbers. Last year was the tours, and this year was the foal numbers. So we're doing well with the studs. So it's doing very well. So but I really do miss the stud. I really tell you, I can't wait to get back. It's Sunday week, and hopefully it's going to stick to Sunday week, and hopefully stick to Sunday week now. I hope to God it's going to stick to Sunday week now, the 12th of April. We're supposed to be open on the 30th of March, so I don't know whether it's open or not, but I've been looking up the site, and there's no mention of anything about any change of date. There's no mention of any change of date, and there's no updates at all with the dates. There's no notice about any change of date, nothing, no mention on the change of date, and no mention on the website, and no mention on the Twitter page about any change of date. It's still the 30th of March, as far as I can see. There's no change of date at all. I haven't seen any updates on the change of dates or any new updates and of the date change of dates, or any new updates on what's happening and what's the story, latest updates on the news and latest news, what's happening with the dates and due to the coronavirus. Nothing. There's no updates at all. There's only updates about the new foals being born. And there's only new foals being born. There's no dates about new dates, about opening hours, anything like that. So it's not actually very helpful at all when you come to think of it. So it'd be very helpful if they gave us more information about dates, about what date's opening and what date's opening, what date it's not opening. It'd be more helpful if they could do that. Another fucking message, Jesus. And again. Yeah. Now let me see, music, choices. A whole wide range of choice here. And I'm going to do the mugs and stuff and clean the mugs and stuff like that as I'm doing the music, as I'm playing the music as well, so keep myself busy. It'll take my mind off what's going on as well, you know. There's a lot on my mind at the moment, so the music kind of helps in that way. So, I find music is very, very healing when there's a lot of problems going on, a lot of, a lot of stresses, a lot of stress. When it comes to a lot of stress, music is very, very. I find it very therapeutic. I find music very therapeutic. It's exactly the same as horses. Horses are the exact same. Horses are also very therapeutic when it comes to problems or stresses or anything like that. I've heard to listen to that album after that, so.